Hey one hail, welcome to Monday, welcome to Countdown Day, and today we are going to count down, as voted on by fans, the top 10 Transformers who had a better toy deco than Toon deco. In other words, their coloration for the figure that was actually released was superior to their coloration in the fiction that they appeared in. I'm not going to lie, this is a heavily, but not completely, G1 list. You'll see all the details when we jump into the latest GotBot Counts Down. Hey one hail, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course subscribe, and while you are at it, light them up, baby. Hit the notification bell, please. Helps me out a ton and lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that's in the description down below. Also in the description down below, and if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. And we're going to start off with our honorable mentions. They include G1 Ironhide, which surprised me that anybody would pick the toy deco of that over the Toon deco. G1 Rumble, I guess if you're of the mindset that Rumble is the red and black lad, then I guess you would prefer that. Again, you know me, I'm a cartoonist king guy. Studio Series 31, Revenge of the Fallen, Battle Damaged Megatron. I thought that was a really interesting one, but you know what? I kind of get it because in the film he looked like a bit of a hodgepodge, but that was an excellent mold. Actually, I ended up using that mold. I don't remember if it was the 31 version or the 13, because one was battle damaged and one wasn't. As Violent Jiger, a custom Violent Jiger. G1 Grimlock. Those that voted for him said if for no other reason because of the gold chrome on the chest. I guess they like chrome. Trailbreaker, because again, even with his sticker details and whatnot, he just had more color than the mostly black and gray of the animation. G1 Hot Rod and G1 Thundercracker. Those are the honorable mentions. None of them made the list. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to do as we always do, and we're going to kick things off with number 10 first. Kicking us off at number 10, we have this. It is Combiner Wars Vortex. And Combiner Wars Vortex is very much based on the G1 toy Vortex. Instead of being like a mostly sea of gray with some blue highlights and some black shins, this one had kind of teal shoulders and a teal head. He had yellow and red and purple detailing that I think was supposed to kind of mimic his sticker detailing. He even had the yellow missiles on his arm. He just had bigger pop of color. Yeah, if you want something less mono or bichromatic, I suppose, if you're looking at him as gray and blue. If you want something with more of a pop of color, then Combiner Wars, or even the G1 with the stickers for that matter, but Combiner Wars Vortex, yeah, definitely has more color, and he takes the number 10 slot. Coming in at number 9, we have this. It is Armada Tidal Wave, and most of us know Tidal Wave, especially with the recent release in his Titan class offering, as an animation-accurate purple and gray guy. But I reviewed the original, and the original was certainly not the same as the animation. We had a lot more gray, most notably on his head. We had green interspersed, especially for like the shoulder pylons and whatnot, and his thumbs, I believe. And the shins were gold, or maybe a bronzy color, instead of the kind of silver that they tend to be for animation accuracy. Certainly like more of a hodgepodge of color, but certainly more eye-popping color. I love purple, my favorite color, and I love gray, and I love animation accuracy. But for a toy that would stand out on the shelf when you're walking past it, or when it's on display, man, Armada Tidal Wave is fantastic. And having a better deco than his animation, yes sir, he takes the number 9 slot. Coming at number 8, we have this. It is G1 Slugslinger, and if for no other reason, he has brighter blue on him. The animation that was used for him, at least outside of Japan, was a very dark blue, and we just recently had that very dark blue homaged in a 2-pack from Amazon, where he was a reuse of the Titans Return mold, very dark this time, and I think he was packed with Sandstorm with his animation accurate face, if I'm not mistaken. But even in Titan's Return, he was a lighter blue akin to his G1 coloration here. And if you were in Japan, he was a lighter blue again. It really boils down to, do you prefer a darker blue or a lighter blue? If you prefer a lighter blue, then the toy accurate coloration, the toy coloration altogether, will be the one that you will gravitate to. And he takes the number 8 slot. Coming in at number 7, we have this. G1 Menasor. And G1 Menasor, the people that voted for this said, look, when you had the combiner on the cartoon, it took away all of his character, right? His thighs, his whole body was black, except for the Decepticon logo. Yeah, his head was pretty great. And you could see the cars on the shoulders, but then you got down to the lower legs and you saw nothing. Akin to what we got in Legacy. It's just very bland in design. But the G1 toy, that thing, you not only saw the detail on the 2 arms, but even though you put the cars on backwards on the legs, you could still pick out enough detail to know which leg was what instead of them looking basically identical. Beyond that, you had gray thighs instead of black, or silver thighs maybe. It looks gray in the picture to me, but I don't know. I really don't know G1 Menasor, so I don't know if they were silver or if they were just gray. You also have the extra like red details and the extra little like drone car kind of detail on the chest, and you even down on the pelvis have like some yellow and red detail that's not in the animation. Yes, again, much like we talked about with Tidal Wave, this boils down to just more pops of color, whether because of paint deco or sticker deco. But yeah, G1 Menasor takes the number 7 slot. Number 6 takes us to Titan's Return and this. Titan's Return Trypticon. And those that voted for him said, look, I love the Age of the Primes version. And it's very animation accurate, but the dichotomy between the kind of stark black of that Trypticon and the very neon vibrant pinky purple is too much. They prefer the deco of the Titan's Return. The gray allows all of the molded in detail to show up nicely, and the kind of traditional Decepticon purple that's used on him is just something that ties in nicer with the overall aesthetic and color. It doesn't come off as jarring to the eye as the Age of the Primes one is. I don't know. I love the Age of the Primes one even though I don't own it. I own the Titan's Return. I also love the Titan's Return. I love both, so I wouldn't be able to pick. But fans did, and they said the Titan's Return color layout was better than the G1 cartoon color layout. Who am I to argue? He takes the number 6 slot. And now a hush falls over the crowd because we've reached the ever coveted, ever popular halfway mark. And at the halfway mark, we go to a mail away with this. It's Reflector. Now, there was a specific vote for Spyglass, I think it was. I put it in with the Reflector because I thought about if I would count each of these separately, or because they tend to always be a group and the alt mode requires them to be a group, would I count them as a group in this case? So this one's a little iffy, admittedly. However, unlike the cartoon where basically they're 3 clones of each other, sometimes we even see more than that, or even if you wanted to go with the like War for Cybertron iteration in the cartoon where that body type was used with many colors. If we're comparing straight up G1 Reflector from the G1 cartoon to the G1 Reflector that was a mail away, I'm pretty sure, the mail away, each bot looked individual, as you can see here. We had, you know, a clear red one, a clear blue one, and then we had one that was really the closest to the animation model. I also have the camera here because the animation model camera, of course, is a mix of kind of grays and purples with some green highlights. It doesn't look like a real camera. This looks like it could have been a real camera. Yeah, Reflector. Wouldn't have thought of him, but he takes the number 5 slot. Number 4 is this, G1 Cyclonus, which was homaged with the Generation Select Cyclonus, and that Cyclonus did have 1 vote, by the way. Again, I can respect this because you have the deeper purple, and some people like the deeper purple. They also like gray as an alternate color for, say, the legs and the pylons on his crown, on the top of his head, I suppose. And they also said that they like the gray on the like wings that come off of his forearms. I get that. Dark purple and the gray. Plus you had the sticker detail on the shoulder that was kind of cool. Whereas the animation really had like a mid purple compared to like a pale purple basically, right? I adore, say, the Kingdom Cyclonus. but I understand the people that preferred the look of the Generation Select Cyclonus. The Kingdom, clearly an homage to the G1 cartoon, while the Generation Selects, clearly an homage to this. And many people prefer this color layout, and that's why Cyclonus takes the number 4 slot. Into the top 3, and at number 3 we have this. It's Bombshell, G1 Bombshell. Though some people did vote for the Legacy Bombshell. What can I say here? I mean, the people that voted for this said, look, I love the chrome on the top of his head. I like that the part that curves out over and the very top of his head is colored black, whereas his face mask is also a chrome color. It breaks up an overall silver on the very top of the head. They also tend to like the purple on his body instead of the gray on his body, and the purple on his lower legs. Because even though we tend to see his lower legs depicted in black, if you look at this picture, you can see the lower legs do have purple inside the leg. Not to mention your regular sticker detail, and instead of being kind of a more of like a dark gray type of color, there's a stark black to his arms that pops against the gold of his torso, I suppose, and the deep purple of his torso. I understand why this is a preference, and in fact I've even recently talked about how with the dramatic capture set we now have a Legacy version that has the gray, whereas the regular Legacy release had the purple. Which one do you prefer, right? I think I like the purple. I think I'm with the fans. I think I like this layout better than the animation layout, which is a big thing for me since I'm a cartoonist king guy. Bombshell, in his G1 glory, takes the number 3 slot. Number 2, everyone that voted for this said it was a little bit of a cheat, but it's this. It's G1 Jetfire. And of course we all know the kind of hubbub about the difference between his animation and his toy accuracy, and the rights to like the Macross and the Robotech stuff and whatnot. So that's why the cartoon looked so wildly different from, well, this. And while the Siege done a beautiful job at homaging this with armor bits added on, some people said, look, I prefer him looking like a strong combatant, plus I was a fan of Robotech, and this just spoke to me in volumes. I totally understand why it would do that in robot mode. I also understand why it would do it in Gerwalk mode and in plane mode. I think it's a beautiful thing that we now have the Siege version to homage both the G1 animation and, I guess, the War for Cybertron animation and the G1 toy. But I'm not gonna lie, as a lad, as much as I loved the way he looked on screen, the one time I saw him in store, even though he didn't look like the character on screen, I thought, man, he still looks pretty darn sweet. It's not the Jetfire I would personally want. I prefer the cartoon accuracy here, but enough fans prefer the toy accuracy of that deco and that layout that it was enough support to solidify him at the number 2 slot. And now here we are, very tippy top number 1 for Transformer that has a better toy color layout than Toon color layout. And number 1 is this guy. It is G1 Shockwave. And people said a number of things here. They said that they preferred the big Decepticon logo on his chest over smaller ones on his 2 arms. They said that they love that his elbows and his thighs are silver instead of gray. They said that they like the deeper purple and the chrome eyeball, I suppose we would call it, rather than a yellow eye, and the lighter almost lavender sometimes purple that was used in the cartoon. And they like that the hands light up. They enjoy the translucent hand and the translucent blaster when you press the buttons, which is funny because everybody complains about clear plastic nowadays. So yeah, between the translucent stuff, the deeper purple, the stark die-cast silvers, yes sir, Shockwave, G1 Shockwave, in all of his beautiful deep purple glory, takes the number 1 slot. And that's it, 10 down to 1 once again. Other ones that had a better toy color layout than Toon color layout based on votes include Legacy Bombshell, who I mentioned, Earthrise Skylinks. You know what? I agree. I like the deeper red and the deeper blue on that Skylinks than in the animation. Generation Select Cyclonus, who I mentioned. G1 Smokescreen. Beast Machines Optimus Primal. The person that voted for that, was only one vote for that, said that they love the translucent nature of his body, which they tried in the cartoon, but it didn't quite pay off. G1 Brawn, with his deeper, almost forest green. G1 Frenzy, G1 Skywarp, because of the deeper purple than the animation. Cybertron Galvatron, Earthrise Grapple, G1 Computron over what we got in the cartoon. A very interesting one there. Kingdom Galvatron with his deeper colors, although I would argue that he is actually more animation accurate than the 86, which I find to be too blue, but that's just me. 86 Grimlock, G1 Scrapper, because of kind of like with the Combiner Wars. Recently I reviewed, say, the 86 Scrapper next to the Combiner Wars, and when you see that review, you can see that the Combiner Wars, just like the G1, has more pops of color, like on the hips and on the chest, with some silver and red and yellow detail. Detail. Thrilling 30 Springer, MPM Barricade. I don't know how that's different from the film. G2 Devastator. Even though Devastator, like, the person that voted for it said they know that it's G2, but just they preferred that color, that orangey color for construction vehicles over the green. Leader 07 Megatron. Interesting one with some nice gray there as well. G1 Optimus Prime over the cartoon. I don't agree with that, but to each their own. G1 Nose Cone specifically from Computron. Nah. Somebody voted for 86 Hot Rod. Legacy Evolution, Armada Optimus Prime, but man, that's real close to the animation, I gotta say. Like, super duper close to the animation. MP10 over, like, the G1 animated Optimus Prime. G1 Megatron, if for no other reason they said it was a lot of silver on him, and they like the curly cues on his chest. G2 Beachcomber's coloration over the blue that was in the cartoon. G1 Galvatron, who looks like the Selects Galvatron, right? Which also looks like a Shattered Glass, I think it is, Galvatron. No, it looks like Galvatron 2. Looks like Galvatron 2. Legacy Kickback, Beast Wars Depth Charge, and the White Ultra Magnus and G1 Skids. Those and even more had votes. I appreciate each and every one of you coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link, check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you're at it, hit the subscribe button, stick around and have some fun with us here on the channel, and don't forget, not for a moment, man, not for a second, that you right there, you do make a difference in the world, and I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres, or the old fashioned way right here, baby, inside the videos.